Hey, it's William Michael, and I just thought I'd check in with you today. Yesterday when I talked a little bit about organized religion, I just wanted to make it clear that, and I'm not necessarily against organized religion. I think organized religion is beautiful. But where I'm frustrated is that I see a lot of our Christian leadership, telling us to, it's important to read the Bible and be involved in this ministry, but giving tithings and all that sort of stuff. And really, what's the call to action to go out into the world to proclaim the message of Jesus Christ? So I just want to be really clear about that. I think there's a lot of great things about Christianity, and I don't want that to seem as if that I'm against that. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there and make that clear. One thing we talked about yesterday briefly was my own testimony. Growing up Catholic, I came from a great family, mom and dad still married up until my mom passed away a couple years ago. But I was really able to share my faith in a way that was expressive of who I was at the time. But I really didn't have God in my life, and not having God wasn't a very good thing. I became a very selfish, egotistical, prideful man that had very little humility. And the further I walked away from God, the more damage that I created in my life. At some point, I became kind of agnostic and atheist, and really didn't want to accept the fact that God existed. I got more and more entrenched in the material world as money seemed to be the solution to the problems that I was having. Well, after being in a long-term relationship with somebody, getting a divorce, after having an affair, which I regrettably say, I walked away from that marriage awfully irresponsibly and left everything I had accumulated, what was of value to me, and wound up going to another part of the country. And it was really in that loneliness that I was faced with myself, and I realized that A, I'm going to die one day, and B, that I need to make a better relationship with this God that I had conceived in my mind. And I just remember saying to God, if you're real, show yourself to me. And it kind of started with that whole process. Little did I know that, the walk with Christ is not a walk where all of a sudden it's an intellectual conversation where you say, yeah, he's real. He starts to show himself in your life. And it really started with a simple prayer. And that's something that I suggest to people that are unbelievers, that are questioning. And it's something most people who have a testimony will share to be correct. And the more I kind of grew in Christ and wound up moving back to Los Angeles, being with my family, the more I started to change. And it came at a point where I was kind of living in a duality. I was living by the ways I was accustomed to, not realizing those weren't the ways that God wanted me to live my life. And that was a real struggle to just kind of let go. But over the years, it's been a continual process. And, for myself, the hardest 12 inches that I've had to travel, which is the hardest 12 inches mankind will ever have to travel in their life, is really from their head into your heart. And that's really the problem with today's society. We put so much blame on everyone else, and that's what codependence is all about, putting the blame on you for my problems. And that's what we're doing in society. We're blaming the government, we're blaming our leaders, we're blaming corporate greed. But the truth is the way the society has become, it's a reflection of who I am, a reflection of who you are. We live in this society that's contrary to Jesus, what I call the Antichrist society. And, at some point, my actions, your actions, all of our actions has a ripple effect in our society. And unfortunately, this nation for the last 40 years here in America has turned its back on God, which is not a good thing to do. And now all of a sudden, the effects of our selfishness, of materialism, consumerism, selfishness, whatever you want to call it, it has had its dirty little hands across the world. Though it's a great system, but it's been a system that's been irresponsibly handled over this time, and that's not really good. And we're trying to fix our society, we're trying to fix our economy, we're trying to spend our money to get ourselves out of this. But actually, the start to this process, the ending, it actually starts with you and I, and that's our own internal battle. Enough of blaming everyone else. When do we start taking accountability for our own actions, the things we watch on TV, the things we say to our friends, the rumors, the judgments, all the things that we do behind people's backs, in front of people's backs? When does that stop? The moment that stops, we have to then struggle within ourselves to deal with all that darkness that's within ourselves. And that's a struggle that will take a person a lifetime to complete. But all that we can really do is take those required steps to make that change within our lives and to hold everyone else accountable. The one thing that I really want to point out is that, reviving common sense was something that Thomas Paine wrote in 1775. And this is a part of the time when our country was not even new. It was a colony of the British, and the king really had his fingers within our economy. And, here are these people at the scrutiny of the king were being controlled, and yet at the same time, they knew that they were being enslaved. And it took one man who saw things a bit differently to write something, and it actually caught on to spark the American Revolution. And we're not talking about a revolution here. We're talking about reviving common sense. Really, what does it mean to be a Christian? But most importantly, what does it mean to be a believer in Jesus Christ? So I can hold you accountable by the same rules that I'm living by. And when you look at that, it's more of a movement. If anything, we have to worry about this country, it's a civil war, but I don't want to see the sky fall apart. I want to come from a position of love. I want to promote a lifestyle, but at the same time, I want people to be attracted to it. And that's something that somebody said in an email today. Stop promoting yourself. Let people be attracted to you. And we're all ambassadors of Christ. We're all representatives of what God wants us to be, but yet we really have to question the way we live our lives, and that starts right here and right now. And that's what Reviving Common Sense is all about. And I seriously suggest that you go on the website, Jesus is My Friend, take a look at it. What's $13? Somebody said to me, you're going to lower the price of your book. And I say, why should I lower the cost of my book? This is an inspiration to God. I want to be able to travel the country. I want to be able to travel the world. I don't want a conventional job like everyone else. I walked away from that in my corporate life, and now I'm using all those skills that God gave me to reach out to you. So $13 to support my cause is not a whole lot. And that's what we're going to have to really look at. When the economy bottoms out and the dollar is worth nothing, what do you think they're going to do? Evict us out of America? Of course not. You're going to have to say to yourself, what God-given gifts do I have that I could share with you, and vice versa? Because I got to eat. I've got to put gas in my car. I got to take my kids or whomever to the doctor. That's what we have to start doing, is bartering with each other and not placing our loyalty into a flag or country or one man. That's dangerous. The early Christians lived in a community. I'm not trying to cause or create a commune here, but they lived in community where they took care of each other. Whatever happened to that spirit of loving one another and watching out for your brother's back? But yet our churches require us to tithe and to give money to bigger buildings, for books, for this lifestyle. And they're doing a lot of great stuff around the world. But what are you doing right now in your own backyard? Help your brother. That should be called a tithing. So when you really look at this, we have to ask ourselves, where are we going? And we have to come together. As the sky continues to crumble, a lot of people would like us to sit by and say, the rapture is going to happen or whatever. But you know what? I refuse to sit by and just do nothing. And that's why I'm reaching out to you. I'm hoping that this connects with the right people, because I'm here. Hello, I need help as much as you need help. So on that note, I'm here for you. I believe in you. And it's about the kids. I'm in an auditorium in a school. It's about the kids, and it's about love, and it's about Jesus Christ, and it starts right here with you and I. So with that said, have a great evening, and any questions you have, any needs, you have anything you want, let me know. I'm here to serve you. And suggestions on what I should be broadcasting about, I would love to know more about what you want to hear. So with that said, this is William Michael, over and out.